The game was Free Space 2. That was the game I couldn't think of in the last episode. The one where I thought the story was very similar to Mass Effect. And the other opposite way of phrasing that would be correct, since I think Free Space 2 came out in the 90s, and Mass Effect was early 2000s, if I recall correctly. That was the game, because they probably all corrected me in the last video in the comments section, anyone who played it. That's what I meant to say. Hey everyone, welcome back to some more Let's Play Starcom Nexus. Had to remember the name of the game. In the last episode, we explored more star systems, getting down to this system, and then double-backed in order to build a better ship, or a faster one, if nothing else. Here's our current vessel. 3 plasma cannons, 2 reactors, 3 engines, and a survey module. That's what it's called. We can't show off the text, so we're going to have to just skip that for the summary. But this extra speed has been really handy for getting us around, and now I won't feel as guilty traveling a bit of a distance to reach planets that we can't get to quickly, thanks to not having a warp node next to it. I'm going to call the blue ones that we can interact to jump to any particular other artificial device warp nexuses, and I'll call the purple ones warp nodes. They might be the opposite, though. And this is a gigantic Class B giant gas planet. Let's see if there's anything on this. Nope. Alright, so what have we discovered so far about this game before we start talking about other random things? We have met a few new races as well. The Ulukwu, who have an interesting way of narrating their discussions with another race live. And we met the Saurids, who have dropped that they wouldn't mind if we were to eliminate a certain Chitek base, so that they wouldn't have to do so, since their civilian population hasn't really declared war yet on them. We have some scouts. Let's see how well our increased speed lets us deal with them. We can catch them, but they're still tough to catch. Wow. Actually, we can't catch them. They are faster than us. Man. All right. And those scouts get to get away from us. Again, as I think I mentioned last episode, I think their tech increases as ours does. No anomalies on this. What type of world would this be? Rock and desert, I suppose. Alright, now the scouts are coming to us, or at least this one seems to be. Let's shoot it down. You can take damage by ramming into ships, but the moment I think a ship is destroyed, it's no longer a risk. You can also take damage from ramming into certain other things, depending upon your velocity. There's one item in particular we will be encountering multiple times, where if we hit it going rather quickly, it will destroy us utterly. And it's a good excuse to fly in this screen most of the time. When we finally find one, I'm expecting to find one soon, I will talk a little bit more about it and show you guys how dangerous it can be. Nothing special about that sun. No plants down there. Looks like there's another warp node up here. Or gate? Maybe we should call these gates. Warp gates? Gates sound... No, I'm not sure. I want to differentiate between these two things, and I forget what they're actually called. I'll have to look up the names of them in between episodes. Oh, there's something on this planet. This looks like lights from a city, but I don't think that's the case. Probably just sandy areas. Let's see what's down here. I think the glow of the sun is creating this blue outline. Oh no, it is a water world. Sensors detect a distinct anomalous reading beneath the surface of the waves. Surface conditions on this part of the planet make for dangerous conditions. We haven't yet researched extreme survival, as I reach over to grab the donation cup mug. I think we still risk it. Let's see what's down here. Send the team down in dive suits to investigate. It's a dangerous operation and a miracle that any of the crew made it back alive. But on the seabed, they find a meteor rich with the tronium ore. Lost 2 crew, though. $30 neutronium. From what we've seen, that has a decent trade value with the Ulukwu. And that will likely get us quite a bit of titanium if we decide that we want it. Let's take a look at what we have currently when it comes to resources. Could get another gun on our ship. We have the 50 yttrium for it. I think we need 30 chirolite for another reactor, which could also be useful for us. And since we're right here next to whatever this is, what is this? I would like to get the name of it correct. Let's see, if I go way back to the beginning, we can probably... Warp Nexus. Okay, so I'm getting it confused. So this is a Warp Nexus, is what they call this. All right, then we'll stick with that terminology. And we'll use a warp gate for the ones that we can activate. Immediate combat. We hear a combat in the distance somewhere as well. I want to get behind this destroyer. Pummel this thing first. Ooh, taking some damage. We'll show it our other side to shield that side from more damage. Try to pummel this. We're taking more damage from them now, so I suspect that they've increased the damage that they deal as well. Oh, they must be fighting whatever this is. I can't quite see it here. Saurids. So the Chitek and oh, okay, the Saurids blew them up. Good job, guys. The combat, I'm about to say the combat is still playing, so there's another somewhere around, but thankfully looks like they have fled or all been defeated. Let's take a look at this planet. Another desert world. Something down here. We'll take a peek while we're here. This dead desert world shows clear evidence of a large early space age civilization. Yeah, we can see a city here at some point. It looks like this is either a dust storm at the lowest sections here. Maybe it faintly looks like trees, but I don't think that's the case. Probably just a huge dust cloud. As best as the team's archaeologists can tell, some event roughly 5,000 years ago resulted in a dramatic decrease in the available surface water. The cause is unknown. One of the few cities that hasn't been buried into the desertification process has a large amount of titanium in its structures, and we break down a few of them. There must be some sort of beam or device we have to convert a building to component parts. Sorry, its constituent parts, I think is what the term I want to use. We can talk really quick with the Saurid. Greetings, my Starcom ambassador. I apologize if my matter seems distracted. I've been fielding reports of Chitek attacks all day. Our government lacks the courage to act. I think we mentioned that the base is near this position, right? Again, not that you should involve yourself in this. I merely thought you might wish to know how to avoid it. Was there anything else you wish to discuss? I have some questions about the races of this region. And which race in particular? We were curious about the Ulukwu. Understandable. The Uluku are a curious race and a bit difficult to converse with. They have been a starfaring race for longer than I think even they know. Supposedly they developed space travel before writing, although that seems dubious. I can tell you that they place a high value on mutual gift-giving, or what we would call trade. If you've gotten off on the wrong appendage, I suggest a gift. I believe they've been interested in platinum lately. No more questions for that. Legion of Space, anything new here? Nope. Alright, my scaly friend. We'll talk to you with you later. I don't like knowing that the Chitek are getting stronger very quickly. We're gonna need to increase our combat capabilities. Oh, look, so see our hull? It was decreasing as we approached that sun. So that's, and it still is decreasing now. So this sun actually does a good amount of damage to us if we're close to it. I was talking about that last episode too. Don't fly too close to suns. Don't fly too close to stars. It's a good way to take a lot of damage. Some stars in particular do significant amounts of it the closer you are. This looks like a magma planet. Looks like there's streams of the stuff here, rivers of it, and seas of it too. Let's see if that's the case. We can go down there. It's an interesting choice to make because you don't get the option to go back to your ship all the time and return later. Sometimes you just have to decide right then and there what you're doing. And without the extreme survival research unlocked, we have a better chance of losing crew. I still think we go down here and take a peek, because if there is technology down there, we will want it. Mountains everywhere, and no lava that we can see. Near the base of the awesome peaks of this world, the team finds the source of the anomaly reading. Some modest deposits of titanium. The team thanks their stars that the deposits weren't higher up, given that some of these peaks are over 30 kilometers high. This guy has 2 reactors, 2 plasma, and 2 engines. I can also see that he's got 4 armor modules protecting all the pieces of his ship. We'll talk about armor modules later when we finally unlock them. We are not close to doing so, though, because I want upgrades to help our survivability. Oh, we missed a star. We'll want to go back for that. Planet first, and then the star in this system. Again, looks very similar to the planet we had just seen. Probably we're seeing the results of the star hitting it as well. Oh, there's an asteroid field out here too. We'll definitely spend some time destroying a few of those. No anomalies on this planet. This is a nebula as well, based on the fact that we see clouds around us. On the higher difficulty levels, I think it improves hit points of the asteroids that you'll find and so on as well. Right now, though, looks like that's not too much of a concern. Alright, so I'm going to destroy a bunch of these asteroids, because there's a small chance we might get, some resources from these. 3 titanium. So as we're doing this, I'll mention again some of the games that I played of the space-faring genre back when I was much younger. And again, I was never really good at these. My brother Dave has been always amazing at them. And I'm probably going to repeat myself a bit, because I actually have a small outline here in front of me. Although I do have to kind of pay attention to what's going on screen. I don't want to ram into any of these. So, I believe I began talking about, I'm going to mention it again, Tachyon the Fringe. I actually just reinstalled the game yesterday. Had to go and grab it off of, actually Steam had the game. And it's been so long since I've played it, I think it would be a fun thing for me to play in my off time. I don't intend to record the game, though. I don't know if it would be interesting for you guys to watch me play that game. A massive fossil. That asteroid contained an enormous fossil of a sea creature. Extrapolating from the sample, it was between 800 and 1,200 meters long. I think there are some references to some pop culture stuff in this game, but not much of it. So if you might recognize where something's from... Oh, we're taking damage because we're too close to the sun. You have to tell me. Yeah, it's Tachyon the Fringe. Not the first type of space flight simulator game I've played, but one of my more favorite ones at the time. Bruce Campbell was the voice actor for the main protagonist, whose name I think was Jake Logan. I hear it. Oh, hey! Can we get this? We can't even approach it to hail it yet. We need a faster ship or better comms. Let's destroy more of these asteroids before we visit that planet that we see over there. I installed the game but haven't played it yet. Maybe I will record it. So this game, I guess we'll go on a tangent. At the moment, I am recording this game, and it hasn't been uploaded. I haven't even hinted that this is going to be a game I plan to upload. But I do like recording game series and having quite a few what I call videos in the hopper. Basically, there's a video recorded. There's some, if I'm doing any video editing or speaking in the game, it's already all done. And when I begin uploading some of my game series, for some of them I've actually completed the game already, and there's like 50 videos or so. For others, there's a handful of them. For this one, I intend for there to be like at least like 20 videos before the first one goes up. In this way, if when I start this series, I have a nice backlog. I can see if people are interested in it. Hopefully they will be. And of course, I myself want to record this game so I can watch myself play it later on. But this way I can consistently upload content, since I feel that's an important part of being a Let's Player. And this planet has a bunch of dust covering it. I'm imagining this is probably... what, dust covering it? It looks like sand and dust on this planet as well. Let's see what's down here. There is something down here. Let's send down the away team. Some trees down here as well, or fungus of some sort. Look at this massive city. Even from a high altitude, the survey team could see what this structure was. A citadel constructed from the broken hulks of ancient starships. A few of the large guns train on the lander as it touches down a few kilometers away. An intercom by an inset door chitters as the team approaches it. It translates as, "Welcome to Intark's Citadel." What is the password? We have no clue. Have the team return to the ship for now. We're not going to try giving a password if we don't know it, and we're probably not welcome here unless we know what it is. This might be one of the things that we can gain from the Ulku, assuming that we have the platinum to purchase it from them. So back to Tachyon. I liked the way the quests were done, because you would pick them up from a terminal, and then head out in your ship, meet at a rendezvous point to get them done. You could fail the missions as well, and then upon return, it would still progress like the story, or there would be a result from failing the mission. So I tried to play the game a bit like a roguelike. I remember failing the first mission after the big event when you were trying to save a hospital ship with quite a bit of crew on it. Their engines had malfunctioned. I heard something warp in, but I don't hear any combat music. Ooh, careful, Tim. You're getting too close to that sun. Let's destroy more of these asteroids, and we'll head back to the warp. Oh, hello. What on earth are you? Hailing unknown vessel. Please identify yourselves. I am Jared Hiltman of Starcom. We seek peaceful relations. We are the Vendari Federation. We seek trade and exchange of knowledge. How have we not had contact with your civilization before? Our vessel was pulled into this region by a rift in space. We are seeking a way to return home. We are sorry to hear of your plight, but glad to make your acquaintance. As the first Vendari to make contact with Starcom, it is our tradition to begin with an exchange of data or technology. I am transmitting information on the Kailitos, a technology we use aboard our ships. Would you be willing to share a technology with us? Sure. Well, let's offer whole integrity. This is some interesting technology beyond our current capabilities. As your generosity seems to have exceeded ours, allow us to make an additional gift. 10 neutronium. Are you interested in trading resources as well as knowledge? Yes. The Vendari have agreed to trade with us. Use the fields below to... Okay, so once again, they're trading, and the technology that they value at a rate of 1 is Cobalt 60. Cobalt 60, if I recall correctly, is used for... I want to say it's used for missile launchers. So if we want to research and build them, we will need, I think, at least 30 of this. But to unlock missile launchers requires 150 research points, and I want to spend our research on other things instead. We did just get 75 from them, and 50 from a fossil we found. It's almost enough to take it, but I want other things researched first. There's probably a really good way to determine what is the most worthwhile things to trade with a different race. I'm going to guess it's based on the difference here down below between selling and buying. There is a technology you can unlock to make things a little more favorable, but at the end of the day, even with that unlocked fully, I think there's 2 or 3 researches down that tree, you will never be able to gain more than they gain by making a trade. You always trade at a loss of some sort. But there's still a way to trade with a profit. I just don't know how to do it myself. I'm not very profit-oriented when it comes to this type of game. Or the way that they've done it here. So, let me take a peek. It would seem... Okay, well, hold on. What do I need from them? It's 100 titanium for an engine, if I want yet another one of them. But I think I would like a reactor next. So, that's going to be more chirolite. We can probably get rid. Probably can trade 8 yttrium. And see how much of this we can get. We're going to need 9 of this. So if I want more of it, we'll trade 2 of the neutronium for a 5th. It's just... Let's just do this trade. Oh, or not. Can I not do this trade? Oh, we did the trade. It just didn't make a click. Okay. We are always happy to trade with our new friends. Oh, don't bounce into that. What are they armed with? I see 2 plasma guns on the front, 2 engines, 2 reactors, and these are armor modules. I guess we'll talk a little bit about armor, since it's a tech you also can upgrade, viewer, if you'd like this game and pick it up. Armor reduces the damage that a section takes. The armor section itself, and any other sections that are directly adjacent to it. It adds a bit more mass to your ship than many other sections add to it. So you'll need some engines to make up for it. Since we are beginning to take more damage from the Chitek, it's probably something we're going to want to research sooner rather than later. But at this moment, with the amount of resources we have, which is not much at all, we're just going to delay. Okay, so nothing else is on radar here. Let's head back here and to that star. The core of that asteroid wasn't rock. It was a collection of what appears to be ancient garbage from an advanced race that formed a concretion over millions of years. That's a treasure trove of technical data. 90 research points for that. Holy crap! You could spend hours just shooting down asteroids to gain a little bit of resources, but in the effort to make this more entertaining than just listening to me chat and watching me destroy asteroids, let's go and do some more exploring. I'm going to want, now that we picked up an extra 90 resources, we will absolutely try to unlock more loot from things we destroy as an upgrade to make things like that easier. Yeah, so for Techie on the Fringe, going to the terminals, grabbing a quest, heading out there, and possibly failing it. I really liked it. I liked the training missions, which I think I mentioned as well. It was flying through a series of rings and trying to destroy certain objects that were on them in order to earn more time. Uh-oh. I hear combat music, but I don't... Oh, right there. Should take Explorer. Show him a different section of our ship. Spread the damage out. Woo! Nice. We get some resources from that. 2 titanium. The least expensive thing, but we're going to want as much of that as possible, as it's used to build all sorts of other modules for your ship. So this is a bit far, is this far away? It's not that far away, but as you can see, the further that we'll get from planets, the faster we will begin to move. There's a thrust upgrade, like an afterburner you can unlock as well, and if you have enough reactors, you can keep it on. The amount of speed that generates is quite substantial, and so we will want to unlock that later on to make trips such as the one we're doing right now, which actually isn't that far, faster. Like, if we want to reach this star, the only place we know how to get there is from that blue sequence. I'm picking up a faint signal on a lightwave band. Looks like some kind of faint transmission. Let me try to restore it. While you're doing that, you also mentioned... something earlier that we had unlocked. This one. This device for managing fuel mixtures has an almost complete solution to the Navier-Stokes problem. This is what we got from the Vendari. Nothing else about the mid-transmission, but I think we'll gain it here somewhere. No, we do not. Now, oh, we did get it. I restored the message fragment as best I could. It's clearly in Starcom standard, but most of it was unrecoverable. I've added an in the mission log. This is the best restoration of the message fragment we picked up on Lightwave. It's pretty badly attenuated. Old. It gives me a headache and... Explain. Someone for the failure. The choice chose the latter. There is not enough information really here to gather a whole lot of what happened. I never was able to finish this message fragment. In fact, that was something I was about to mention. When it comes to these quests, I can tell you now that I did not get the message fragment finished. So that's one that I'll be curious to see how it ends and what the entire message says. The rest of these I had completed. I know that in this game, not every planet will show up every run, and sometimes planets or mission objectives might be shifted, but the game itself is... Hello, what is that? The game itself is not procedurally generated, and most of the quests will show up, and planets will show up. This is a collection of seeds that seems to be well adapted for survival in space. Looks like fireflies. And they're moving. As if there's something to actually, well, move them, like a current of some sort. Hopefully there's some sort of warp nexus here. That will let us get to the other star, or perhaps even a gate. But if there isn't, we'll just have to fly. We'll just fly back to that other star. Quite a few planets over here. That's promising. More technology and resources potentially for us. So for Technia on the Fringe, I guess I should also say this. Maybe I will record it. I'm not sure yet. But I never got too far in the game. I got past the first big event, which transpires, which changes quite a bit for the main character. And I was able to join one of the factions afterwards. But I never did more than, I think, 2 missions for those factions. And then that was as far as I got. Loved the game. Loved the idea of the game. Liked a lot about the game. Never finished it. So many other games at the time that game was out that I began playing. I think that was when Unreal Tournament was out, is when that game came out. And Unreal Tournament took all my time from me when I was back in college. There's something on this desert planet. Let's see what it is. This planet has dozens of glowing craters belching toxic gases. Look at that. Look at the surface of the planet. It's a very thin atmosphere, it looks like, or these mountains are very high, and we can see that there's some volcanic activity on the planet as well. What a great contrast between the surface of the planet and the graphics up here for space itself. That is very pretty. Scans reveal that they're not volcanic activity, but natural fission reactors. The unusual dense rock focuses to release neutrons in certain areas, producing great quantities of heat and moderate amounts of cobalt-60. We grabbed 37 of it. Very nice. Thank you. As much as I would love to talk with the Ulku and purchase some upgrades from them, we're just going to press on at the moment. Large landmass. A little bit of green. Hints that perhaps there's a forest down here, I'm guessing. And potentially some water. And there is something down here on this A2 planet. Let's send down the away team. An incongruous mix of high and low tech, a triangular object composed of rare metals sits atop a worn stone dais. A pale blue light seems to emanate from it, but the actual source is hard to pinpoint. A quick scan shows it is composed of adamantite and titanium, and was constructed using technologies in advance of our own. An amazing looking picture here too, right? This speaks volumes about what was just told here. Nothing else is around this. And it looks like the stairs wasn't deconstructed by someone using older tools. And then you have this strange device sitting on top of it. Reminds me of this one show I used to watch as a kid called The Land of the Lost, where there were these pylons in this game, in that series, which was obviously like high tech, but the show was supposed to take place in the Jurassic period of Earth, and so dinosaurs were walking around, and for the most part, there wasn't much in the way of different types of construction. I wonder how that show holds up these days. I was a little kid, pre-teen, when that show was out. It probably doesn't hold up well, would be my guess. Maybe it does, though. Anyway, our options are to take it apart for materials and analysis, or bring it aboard the ship for the research lab to examine. We could probably use adamantine. It's a difficult resource to get early on, and one of the more expensive resources to actually trade. But research could go a long way to making the few bits that we have on our ship go quite a bit longer, quite literally in some cases. Bring it aboard the ship for the research lab. Well, then again, do we want... What if it's a weapon? Take it apart for materials and analysis. As soon as the team engineers touches the object, there is a crackling sound and a flash of light. The team glances around dazed. The artifact, engineer, and the closest survey member have vanished. A search turns up nothing. Two crew lost. We're almost down 1/3 of our total crew. The amount of crew you have on board determines the rate at which you repair your hull. So we're going to go to this planet, and then we're going to head back to Kite Station. This planet over here, we'll just have to wait to scan. I don't think we have the crew. This is a very pretty planet. Deep green sea, I think. Looks like a water world. Maybe we should go back home first before... Actually, you know what? Let's do that. We'll come back out here. We can research tech to keep our people alive a bit longer. Or better? Not longer or better. Both are wrong words to use. To increase the survival rate of people on away teams. We research something that helps our people during space combats, but not away teams. So we'll get that research under our belt. And then it'll be turning, loot, and then we need to upgrade our weapon systems more. So quite a few put into miscellaneous upgrades when we get back, but we do have quite a few planets we didn't fully explore. So we'll come back out here and begin going to those planets, seeing what's on them, before we go to any other new sectors. Back to Techie on the Fringe. Another reason why I really like that game, one of the few games I was able to play growing up, or in college in particular. I guess I was already grown up there, but still developing my train of thought and how I approach the world, was that, once again, I mentioned this last episode, it let me use a HOTAS, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, and a thrust controller. I think both were able to be used in that game. And I absolutely love using those controllers. I am awful at them. I'm much better at using a keyboard and mouse in the games, but I want to use the other controls because I love fully immersing myself into those games. And HOTAS and thrust go a long way for making me feel like I'm actually piloting a spaceship. One time for I think it was the old TIE Fighter game, I think we had, my father printed us out the keyboard layout so that we could see what the different keys would do for us, like shifting shields and what have you for a game. Another thing I've liked is doing that sort of thing when I'm playing a space game of that sort. In this game, by the way, just in case I didn't mention it, whenever you come out of a warp nexus, and maybe even gates, the game will autosave for you. This is important to remember because sometimes you might travel quite some distance to get someplace, like we're talking 7 minutes, and only for you to die out there. Thanks to running into the thing I haven't seen yet. And, well, then you have to reload and do it again. That is the thing I was just talking about. Let's walk up to it, and I'll show you what this is. Careful! This object contains antimatter in an unstable core. It might be some kind of powerful unexploded ordnance. Bumping into it would probably be bad. You can bump into it, but if you have to go at an extraordinarily slow speed. See? We just touched it. You were allowed to bump into it. However, shooting it will destroy you. Starcom Fleet Notice SSD 26204. That's the date. It's been almost 2 years since Kotko Station, aka Kite Station, and Final Hope disappeared. Despite over 10,000 ship days logged in the search by over 20 vessels, not a single fragment of evidence has ever been recovered. While we will never abandon hope, it is with a heavy heart we must suspend search and recovery operations. We may never know what became of those brave men and women, but we do know that they gave their lives in pursuit of Starcom's mission to explore our universe. Regretfully, Vice Admiral Robert Farid. Little less save. You can ram into this at high speeds and also destroy yourself. You can safely destroy it at a distance, but you need quite some distance to do it. Later on in the game, you'll be able to unlock shield technology, assuming that you complete the quest to gain access to it. And you will need quite a few shields on your ship running, a few shield modules, I think 4 at minimum. And even then, your ship will take substantial damage, losing most of the hull and quite a few crew if you detonate those. I think that will stay there for the foreseeable future as well. I made it a point to destroy them when I could. If I was feeling like I'm going back to Kite Station, we can pick up a few more crew and wait for my hull to be repaired. Because I didn't like the idea of accidentally flying through one while staring at this map, because they're still there, to my knowledge, when you bring up that map. So if you're not paying attention, you might fly straight through one. We have a frigate. We could get... Oh, wait, actually, we already have all the missile parts. And he might be flying out of here, but I'm going to destroy him if I can. Thankfully, since that isn't a warp nexus, it won't drag me into it. Nice. Some titanium, I see. And I still hear the music playing, so there's something else out here. Probably a scout. Where's the closest? There is no closest. Alright, let's go north. Let's jump through this warp nexus, and we'll get to the warp gate, located up in that direction. So, let's continue talking about some things I talked about already. So, Free Space 2 was the game yesterday I had been trying to get the name of. I've only played the first mission of Free Space 2. Not too much further, but I did watch a series on the game quite a long time ago up here on YouTube. I didn't get very far because it was difficult for me to follow, by far I mean the YouTube series as well. I kind of jumped all over the place. It was difficult for me to follow what was going on because the early combats were over so quickly, I couldn't get a really good enjoyment of it. The game has what I felt was the same type of story as Mass Effect in regards to what ends up happening to humanity. You and another race that you are beginning at war with use these effectively warp gates to travel between points for fast space exploration that would take like quite a substantial amount of time to do otherwise. Darn it, we can't even hail it. Just sails right past us. Let's grab this at least. Meter? Cheerolite, nice. I think that gives us all, I think we need one more? One more in order to actually be able to create another reactor, I think. We're here for that. That warp gate. Anyway, another powerful alien race that does not communicate with anything begins showing up. Very technologically advanced, very powerful, and begins destroying everything it encounters. using these gates. And I think the way the story unfolds... Oh god, by the way, spoilers! Spoilers! Spoilers for Mass Effect and Free Space 2. I think the idea is that they are indeed a super advanced race. And when someone is able to access this technology, it views it as a threat and needs to be eliminated. I don't know much else about it, and I don't think there was too much lore. If I recall, when I was reading about the game, went into describing it either. They never finished the series. I think there was supposed to be a third in this game series, and it was never finished. The game, by the way, Free Space 2, is also free. You can absolutely go and grab it for free online if you like playing those older games, space flight simulator games. And there's quite a few mods out for it. Whole entire campaigns written for it. Things that change, like the types of what the ships look like. A few mods to get the game's graphics up to what we would consider to be good these days. And I think you can even use a HOTAS and a thrust in the game. Alright, let's see. We have a new station notice. Deck 2 will be closed next Monday for the Kite Runners 10K. Good to see you again, Commander. We're getting worried. How goes exploration? We could use more crew. You got it. Some fresh volunteers right out of training. You heard me, by the way, drop another coin into this. I think I'm up to like $10 already. That's not good. Or it is good, right? We're donating to charity, which is good. Actually, we're donating for research. Speaking of research, 325 research points. So, I want gyroscope control, which should help us turn a little faster. Let's take a look at this together. So let's face north, and we'll count how long it takes us to make a full rotation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just about 6 seconds. With gyroscope control. Now let's see. One, 2, 3, 4. Just about 5 seconds. So we save 1 second for a full rotation. So we do indeed pivot faster. Or yaw faster. That's the proper word to use. Okay. We want to gain... Oh, we took Extreme Survival already. I didn't... No, wait. Did we? We did. Oh, I forgot we took it already. So I should be landing on all the planets then. This is the final upgrade of it, so there's no reason why we shouldn't be sending teams on away missions. We've got the best technology we're going to get in that regard. Okay. So I'm going to want fragment recovery. So let's first... We're going to grab two upgrades down here. Modest increase... So first we have to take improved scanning. Modest increase our detection ability, allowing us to spot both threats and celestial objects from further away. And then... Fragment recovery. Slight increase to probability of resources and artifacts being recovered from debris. The extra 150 needs to be spent on combat upgrades. And I think we should probably finish all the rank 1 upgrades for our plasma weaponry. Plasma venting. Increases the fire rate of our plasma cannons by 0.5 shots per second. And we'll also grab rail accelerators. Modifies our plasma turrets to use railgun acceleration system for faster projectiles, which improves accuracy. We have 20 points left over. Since we are going to gain additional resources now, let's increase our tractor beam's reach. Greatly extends the range of our tractor beams. Okay. Can we add other modules here? Oh, it's 60 cheerolite for another reactor. Okay. Blueprints. We have enough that we can actually take a ship that I had built a long time ago. The medium surveyor. Can I? We can. All right. We'll take this then. Man, I remember doing combats in this and wishing that I had another reactor. We're going to take it, though. What did I write about this surveyor? The small ship is ready for exploration in low to... Oh, maybe I did not actually... No, the game actually constructed this, not me. Okay, why don't I cut this then and construct a ship off screen, because I like taking a while to make sure it looks pretty. So I'll be back. Oh, and that didn't take too long. Let's go with this. 4 plasma turrets now. We'll travel a little slower because we added another module to our ship. And unfortunately for us, we're going to drain more energy when we fire now. We do also fire faster and further. But even without our engines running, as you can see, we consume quite a bit of energy. We might want to upgrade our energy, both the capacity and the recharge rate in the future. Let's take a look and see if we missed any planets here. We might want to go there. There might be more research points there we can gain. But let's keep instead... Let's double back here. We have this mining station. Oh, right, we left Chitek there. Maybe we don't do that then. I want to go back here and get these 2 unscanned planets. It's going to be some effort to get to there, though. Well, let's start. All right, we got a chat as we're going. I'm recording, right? I haven't had an issue with that in some time. I did. Okay, all right. So a small tangent here. As a YouTuber, man, and as a YouTuber, I suppose I should let me correct that. As someone who records videos and uploads them, and having done such a poor job of this early on in my YouTube life, back in 2009 and through 2012, arguably even through now, I have issues sometimes with recording. This becomes evident when I realize I'm muted and didn't mean to, or I've played a game and accidentally forgot to hit record during a section of it. I make backups of most of my saved game files, this one being so far an exception. I'm going to want to actually, now that I think about it, find and back up the saved game files given how this game works, in order to correct that mistake if it happens. Games that have checkpoint systems in them are particularly tricky to utilize, which this game does, for example. I don't have... Oh my god! There is another, or is it the same one? That might be the same... See what I mean? This is what I'm talking about. That is that antimatter core. I wasn't paying attention. Could have flown into it. Oh, man. Later on in the game, much later on in the game, you will gain access to this really long-range, extraordinarily powerful, immensely energy-hungry weapon. And you can use that to detonate them from a safe distance without ever getting close to them. You might, Tim, want to unlock armor as the next upgrade. Well, not yet. Anyway, what was I talking about? Saving and loading the game. I haven't had, actually, a time where I've forgotten to record the game in some time. Though I have accidentally deleted recording sessions. That happened last year when recording Lobotomy Corp. I lost, like, at episode 23 or something. I just deleted it because I was tired. I woke up and thought I had already uploaded it to YouTube. I don't like keeping things on my computer that I don't intend to play. Or... so I constantly am going through games I have installed to see, how do I describe this? I install games on my computer to encourage myself to play them. By having the game icon in the background, I'm trying to convince myself, hey, play these, Tim. Play these. But often I never get around to it. And so I'll eventually, like, you know what? This icon's been on my computer desktop now for like 8 months. I have not played it. I'm not going to. Let's put it back into my backlog and mark it for something I try in the future. So I'm constantly cleaning up what's on my computer's desktop. I can't install all the games I own. I simply don't have the disk space. Even on my 2 terabyte drive, I have over like 300 games on Steam and 100 games on GOG. I can't put them all on the computer. I just don't have the space. And I mention this because when it comes to videos, once I upload a video to YouTube, or I think I have, I will generally delete it off the computer the next day. And so this means that if I think I have uploaded a session for a game, an episode, I'll delete it off my computer. So sometimes I make a mistake and I delete something I shouldn't, and then I have to re-record it. This has happened once or twice for Underrail during the 3 times I played through that game, and once for Lotaeri Corporation. I know I've done it for other games as well. Sometimes I'll so checkpoint games that you have a single save slot, or games that make me play the game like an Iron Man. It's difficult to record those, because if something goes wrong with the recording, I lose episodes. And if I'm uploading the game at the time and haven't finished it, oh, that's super awkward, because I don't want it to look like I'm cheating or trying to avoid uploading certain games, certain segments of the game, to avoid like having me die or something of the sort. There's something on this planet. Let's see what's down here. Looks like another water world of some sort. Ooh, what is this? What was once likely the capital city of this planet is slowly being reclaimed by nature. It appears that this was a nuclear age civilization that succumbed to the secrets of the atom. Oh. They killed themselves, possibly. The lander's flyover showed evidence of a planet-wide war, fought with fusion weapons and neutron bombs. There are a few scattered spots like this one with radiation levels low enough to allow brief exposure. Near a city, the team finds a massive abstract sculpture celebrating the achievements of its vanished creators. It is full of irony and also quite a bit of titanium. Another one of these pictures of nature everywhere with something more advanced nearby. I'm hoping that we would have scanned a trap or something of the sort here, and we could use the titanium. I was very friendly with my away team and the other civilizations I encountered when I ran through the game last time, and I think I left this sculpture here. But this time, let's try salvaging it. As tragic as the loss is, you're still here, and need the titanium a lot more than the dead do. 87 titanium. We will let that planet reclaim everything from that civilization. There is a planet down here. Now, since we've researched longer scanner range, we might pick up things in the different sectors we had been in already that were just outside the scanner range when we were last there. So we should try flying through them again and see if we've missed anything, as it were. And while we do this, I can talk about another game I talked about in the last episode, Wing Commander: The Darkest Dawn. Again, it's free, and I loved it. I never beat the game. As usual with these types of games, I play them for a bit. I then go and run and tell my brother Dave he'll like this game, and of course he doesn't play it, because he was all about Star Citizen. That was the only game he wanted to play for years. Game's still not out yet, Dave, is it? It's still not out, and it won't be forever, probably. Hold on. We're above this planet. This looks like an ice ball of some sort, and it looks like it's been struck by something at some point. There's also nothing there to encourage us to land, so you get to stay there. Hello, Ulukwu. We don't need to talk with you at the moment. Now, a heads up before we talk more about random stuff. I guess we should also point ourselves over here. Those antimatter undetonated ordinances can show up in a system that you were already in earlier. So you're going to want to pay attention sometimes, probably most of the time, to what's happening on screen. So, although it's tempting at some points to Alt-Tab if you have to travel long distance, I would not recommend you do so. Unfortunately, you're going to, before you go and do so, quick save the game. And come back and check on your progress every, 3 or 5 minutes, depending on how far you're traveling, in order to ensure you're still flying to where you think you were flying and aren't destroyed because you ran into one of those. It's happened to me just, I think, once, that I was flying long distance and ran into one of them. And I saw it happen, too. I was at this screen, but I was zoomed in like this, and it showed up on screen. I couldn't stop myself from flying with the afterburners quick enough, and that was the end of my ship. It was awesome. I didn't have enough shielding to protect myself. Didn't even think to put it on. It was just, it was far too late. Right. I got through the initial campaign for our long-range receivers. Just very briefly caught what seemed to be a kind of pattern in the cosmic microwave background radiation, then lost it. It has a different signature from the lightwave message fragment we detected earlier. So, the lightwave fragment was the CMS message that she tried. Did I say the right words there? Why am I saying CMS? No one even knows what that is. CMB, not CMS. This is what we detected, and this is what we detected through that. And CMB is the thing we just detected. Look at all the quests we have. They're filling up our quest log, and it's annoying because I can't complete most of these at the moment. We gotta wait. Let's double back up here. We'll shoot down a few more asteroids, and then we'll probably call the session. It feels like we've been playing for close to an hour already. I can't believe it. We just did a bunch of running around, and I talked about things we talked about in the previous video. Hope you guys don't mind so much. For Week of Minute Darkest Dawn, I'm going to keep focusing on this. I got through the initial tutorial campaign, which I thought was really well done. And just in case someone here decides to run and go off and grab the game, I really liked it. I thought it was a great throwback to the such flight simulator games of the 90s. I thought they put in a lot of work, and the fact that it's fan made and was free, guys, thank you. That was incredible, man. So much work put into it. I found also the tutorial to be rather difficult, considering that it was indeed a tutorial of sorts. That might be more of me just not being good at those flight simulator types of games, but I like to think it was also because it was tough. I'm not very good at the flight simulator games where you're a pilot and you can use a HOTAS and thrust, but God, I like playing them anyway. It's fun. I really like it. Alright, let's fly back to this. We should fly to all the planets and see if our scanner shows anything else around here. Oh, the Vendari are... Okay, we'll have to talk about the Vendari for a bit now. We would be delighted to make another exchange of knowledge with you. We can offer you plasma venting. We've been transmitted a set of advanced mathematical formula useful for solving echolocation equations. I wonder if the Vendari evolved in a dark environment. Thank you. While we already have an excellent understanding of the principles in this technology, your information provides some useful enhancements. We now share with you some of our own progress. Do you wish to trade goods as well? Yes, please. So I wouldn't mind having Charolite. But if I'm going to want this, 60 of it to afford another reactor, then that means I'm going to have to trade most of my Cobalt 60 away. I want this, Tim. You don't want to sell it. So I need 30 of this. We have exactly enough to get 30 of it. So a heads up that you can type in to the trade, but I've found that there's a bug here. When I click, it immediately vanishes. If I type a 1 in here, yep, see? I can't effectively type what I want. It immediately deselects it. It doesn't happen all the time, but when it happens, it's frightfully annoying. Alright, so let's trade. See, I can't do it. So we know we have enough that we can trade for 30. And that's all of our Cobalt 60. Can we make up for this a little bit somehow? Maybe we can trade some neutronium back to him. Return again soon if you wish to exchange more goods. Whenever you meet the Vendari, they will ask you for technology. If you have it, they will trade some of their own as well. They won't trade resources with you if you do not agree to the exchange of knowledge first. Thus, the more knowledge that you research, the more likely you can gain more research points from them. Now, we did research being able to gain more resources from these. That asteroid fragment contains some energy signatures. Combined with its geological marks, it seems that it was part of a terrestrial planet that was destroyed by an explosion that originated within the planet. I think there's a... I don't know if this is accurate, though, everyone, but I think there is a certain limit to the amount of research you can get from destroying various objects in certain spots. I think that's the last thing we can get from these asteroids. Oh, wow, we're out of energy. Yep. Oh. Okay, well, it gives us this excuse to fly by the Citadel planet again. But we still don't see anything else further away. For the galaxy, although there are planets and what have you, you know, out there, the vast majority of the map is... I hear it, and we know it comes up in this direction. Oh, no, it's coming from an entirely different direction this time. This is the thing. Darn it, we still can't hail it. Okay, well, next time. Next time, strange small ship. Next time. Alright. So let's wrap up this session by going back to Kite Station again. And we'll add another reactor to our ship. Do we have the titanium for that? We do? So, back to Kite Station. I did get all these planets explored so far, right? Yep, yep. We'll add another reactor, and then that will do it for this episode, everyone. Really quick, back to the Wing Commander Darkest Dawn. I think that's the one that has the... I think they're called Kilrathi, where the main hostile enemies in the Wing Commander series. I heard there's a movie that they made based on the game as well. I've never watched it. I've heard it's not very good. I guess we will say. Okay. Shipyard blueprints? Oh! This was a ship I did construct. This blueprint. I think this was the first blueprint I made. carrying moderate for a light vessel firepower, an explorer section, and decent engines. Alright. I like the look of it too. Man, I hope it holds up as well as the last one did, because I'll have to do a few battles with this that is going to be rather difficult. We have 140 research points. We can't put anything else onto our ship, by the way. We're at 12 of 12 modules. I think we should upgrade our weaponry again, or our energy. We could increase the accuracy, the range, the speed at which they fire. We have exactly enough, though, to improve the fire rate. We have enough for... We're 10 short of ion injection to increase the damage it does. We could take accelerated repair. Increase the rate of repair per crew member by 20%. We could also take more crew on our ship, I saw, with expanded command. Increases the maximum crew carried by our core command module by 5. That's tempting, because we can afford that. We could take something else, like power density, to grab even more energy. Let's do that. We'll grab expanded command. We now have 20 crew on our ship instead of just 15, which translates to a quicker repair rate when our ship gets damaged. And we can grab power cell density to increase by 30% the amount of our reserves. With 45 points left, I think we will just pass on anything else at this moment. Engineering is sending a small team down to the planet to extract some common ores. Volunteers looking to get some time off station may apply. Alright, everyone. Well, that'll do it for us. Thank you guys for watching. So we've upgraded our ship to having 12 modules, thanks to getting more resources. We've unlocked quite a few more techs, improving our guns a tad, our turn rate, and getting more people on board. We've increased the rate at which we can get drops from destroyed enemy ships, asteroids, and the like. We've explored all the planets we've seen so far. And I think in the next episode, we'll be heading to the orange main sequence. Going to take a while to get there. And these two stars in this nebula. We still have also in this sector a ton of planets to explore. Another star system. These pillars we'll want to investigate, I suppose, as well. And I think we left... I thought we left a planet not fully... Chitik Warren. Yep, we're going to want to explore that as well. And the mining station. So we'll fly through all these sectors up here. Back. Actually, I guess we'll fly here first. Explore these. Come back. Up to this star. Back. Fly through these areas. Investigate the planets we left behind. Or if we didn't fully explore them. And we'll take it from there. So I'll see you guys then. Thank you guys for watching. And take care, everyone.